Hey, what's up everybody? This is Ryan with Escotech, and I've got another Dell Optiplex build, this time an Optiplex 790 that I'm going to drop a GTX 970 in. You might be asking yourself, why put a GTX 970 in a Dell Optiplex? My answer is, why the f not? But seriously, if you've seen my videos, you know that I think upgrading a Dell Optiplex is a nice way to make a cheap gaming PC. This is the first video I've done where I'm going to upgrade the power supply because of the requirements of the GTX 970. Power supply lines up. It's a pretty much ATX power supply, standard screws, so you can just take these 4 screws out. I'm going to slow it down here for just a minute because there's a part I want to show. After you get the power supply undone and you have all the cables off, on the back here there's a little clip that goes in the case. You have to push that in and then slide the power supply forward. I remember that throwing me off a little the first time I took a power supply out of one of these. Alright, so I'm going to switch the power supply over from the stock Dell model to an EVGA 600 watt. I like EVGA's lower end products in this price range more than I do Corsairs. I've just had better luck with them. I was able to pick this up for right around 40 bucks, which is a pretty good deal. So I'm going to speed this up again. Really not a whole lot to go over here. The motherboard uses a standard 24-pin connector. Dell did that for one more generation after this PC. So the 790 and then 990 and 390 all use it, and then the next generation is the 3010. 7010 and 9010, they all use the same power supply connector before Dell went to a little bit more of a proprietary one. You can still get adapters for those, but this is one of the last ones where it's straightforward just to plug in the 24-pin. So all the power cables hook back up. The Optiplex 790 here that I've got has 4 RAM slots, which is nice because I'm going to go ahead and put 4 4-gig sticks in to have 16 gigs total. Just be sure you line up your notch that's offset in the RAM with the way it lines up on the board. Open the clips on the side and then give them a good push down and all 4 sticks will pop in. Alright, and before I speed this up again, I'm going to show one more part here. Larger graphics card has the SATA connectors down here right at the end of the PCI Express slot, so the GTX 990 sticks out and takes up that room, so I'm going to go ahead and go with some right angle connectors that I was able to pick up online. I was able to get a set of these that had right angle connector on each end, so it worked perfectly to get them underneath there. And the right angle ones fit underneath the cards, whereas the straight SATA connectors didn't. So I'll go and get these set in and lined up where they need to be. And then I am going to use one of the original Dell SATA connectors that has one end right angle and then the other side is just straight. And I'll take that to the optical drive. A little bit of a trick here is I just space out the right angle connectors. So out of the 4 SATA ports, only 2 of them are really going to end up being usable. But I'm only going to have 2 in use, so that's okay. And I'll show a better look of that here with the SATA connectors down so the card will fit over the top. I've got the 2 right angle ones there, both going off towards the front of the case. Alright, and as I speed this up here and just connect all the power cables, I'll mention one more thing. Down by the SATA cables, the next generation does have a USB 3.0 header on the motherboard that's in the way. So if you're going to put a big graphics card or try to put a full-length graphics card in here, you'd have a problem with that too. You'd either have to give up your 3.0 connector or find some sort of right angle adapter, which I'm not even sure exists. So that would be on the Optiplex 3010, 7010, or 9010. And if you're watching this video, you probably installed a graphics card before, but on the Optiplex it's got a bracket holder on the back here you open up, and then just drop the card in, line it up with the PCI slot, pop it straight down into the slot. And then another little trick here with the power cables, you need to have them bent in a way that they don't push out too far because the side of the case doesn't afford you a whole lot of room. There is enough room that it doesn't push on the cables too bad, but you just need to get them set up in a way where they don't get pushed too hard. Alright, so there we go. I've got the external PCI Express power hooked up to the GTX 970, which is really what's going to make this a solid gaming system. And now, a moment of truth. Go ahead and hook it up to power and turn it on, and you can see that it takes a few seconds here, but we do get a post on the first boot here. So I will go ahead and install an OS and run some benchmarks and get this thing tested. Alright, first benchmark was 3D Mark Skydiver, scored 19,779. That ended up being about 15 to 20% higher than the 1050 Ti video I did. Next we have Firestrike, scored 8,970. That actually ended up being closer to 50% than the 1050 Ti. And then finally, Catzilla 22,195 also ended up being right about 50% faster than the 1050 Ti. Alright, so that's the end of this video. Power supply and GTX 970 turn an Optiplex 790 into a great little gaming PC. And the total cost of this build only came to a total of $356. I did have some RAM laying around, so that mitigated the cost a little bit. But still, this system turns out to be a lot of bang for your buck. If you liked the video, go ahead and click on the subscribe button, or otherwise you can leave questions or comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching.